In this city, dragons rule the skies while humans fight to survive below. My name's Lily, a broke woman dumped and humiliated by my toxic ex, until I accidentally picked up the wrong kid from an elite dragon academy. Ash was no ordinary child. He was a sharp-tongued little dragon prince who stole my cocoa, ate my ribs, and claimed my tiny apartment as his nest. And you know what? I thought I had rescued a lost child. Turns out, I had picked up the Dragon Emperor's most precious little brother, and somehow made myself his fated mate. The November wind cuts straight through me at the subway entrance. A black and gold dragon sports car roars past, and above it, a pair of golden dragon wings slices across the gray sky. In this city, dragons live above the clouds. Humans fight for space at the bottom. And me? I am the kind of person no one even notices. 3 minutes ago, my ex, Derek, walked right past me with his new girlfriend on his arm. He wore a brand new tailored suit. The woman beside him was slim, polished, and flawless, like he had finally picked out an expensive accessory worth showing off. His eyes dragged over me, lingering on my faded coat and my slightly ruined face. Then his mouth curled into a slow, cruel smirk.
Lily, what the hell happened to you? Did you seriously just give up on yourself after we broke up?
His new girlfriend tightened her grip on his arm and smiled, all sweetness and poison.
This is your ex? I thought she'd be more impressive. Honestly, I almost mistook her for some discount housekeeper. She does have that warm, harmless look though, like someone you'd hire to babysit and cook.
They walked away without looking back. I stood there in the freezing wind, my eyes burning dry, but I could not squeeze out a single tear. The night Derek moved out 3 months ago, I cried into my pillow for hours. Now, there was nothing left. Then my phone started buzzing like crazy. It was my best friend, Hannah.
Lily, save me! I just got called away on an emergency trip to New Zealand, and there's nobody to pick up my little dragon blood nephew from school today. Can you go get him from Emberwheel Academy?
I pressed my fingers to my temple and hesitated.
What nephew? He's from my husband's side, Dragon Blood family.
He's been staying with us for a while.
You know I married into a Dragon Blood clan, and they've got tons of kids who get sent around to different relatives. This one has a sharp tongue and a terrible attitude.
But he's soft underneath. I'm sending you his photo now.
I looked at the photo she sent. It was so blurry that all I could make out was a golden blur of hair. I looked up just in time to see Derek and his girlfriend disappear around the corner. Then I shoved my hand into my pocket and felt the apartment key he had returned to me last week. That was enough.
Fine, I'll go pick him up.
It could not possibly get worse than this. Embervale Academy's front gate was lined with custom luxury cars. After-school pickup looked less like school pickup and more like an elite auto show. I stood there in my old puffer jacket, squeezed between sharp-suited nannies and stone-faced butlers, clutching a gas station hot cocoa and sticking out like I had wandered into the wrong world. The bell rang, and a wave of golden-haired, golden-eyed kids poured out through the gate. I squinted at the blurry photo on my phone and felt my hope slowly dying. Right as I was about to call Hannah and demand an actual usable picture, something caught my eye. Down a dim side alley, a little boy stood alone against the wall. Short golden hair, bright gold slit pupils, a black training bag on his back. His face was almost unnervingly pretty, like a porcelain doll from some luxury magazine. But there was no driver waiting for him. No nanny. No butler. No one coming to take his hand. His little fingers were red from the cold, wrapped tightly around the straps of his bag. His expression was so calm it made my chest hurt. It was the kind of calm that belonged to a child who had learned too early that no one was coming. I walked over quickly and crouched down in front of him.
Hey there, you're Hannah's nephew, right? I'm here to take you home.
The boy slowly lifted his eyes. Those golden slit pupils were ice cold.
I don't know you.
Then he turned and walked away. I hurried after him and caught the strap of his bag.
Wait, it's freezing out here. I'm not leaving you alone.
He stopped dead and spun around, glaring at me like a cornered little animal.
You're all the same. First you ask who I am, then you ask how much I'm worth. Let go!
His words hit me hard, and for a second, I did not know what to say. So I said nothing. I just took the hot cocoa from my hands and pressed it into his freezing ones.
Fine, I won't ask anything, little cranky. Just hold this. Warm your hands. If it tastes awful, you can insult it all you want.
The little boy stared at the cup for a long moment, looking like he was fighting some serious internal war. Then he finally sneaked a tiny sip. His ears turned pink.
It's too sweet.
I could not help laughing. Then I gently took his hand in mine. This time, he did not pull away. Back at my tiny apartment, the little guy stood in the entryway and slowly looked the place over, his eyes landing on the window frame I had patched with tape.
You're really poor, aren't you?
Thanks. I really needed to hear that today.
He seemed to realize he had said something wrong. His lips moved like he wanted to take it back, but nothing came out. I went into the kitchen and got to work. Braised beef short ribs, garlic mashed potatoes, and hot chicken soup. When the smell started filling the apartment, I looked over and found him standing in the kitchen doorway without me even noticing, his golden eyes fixed on the pot like he had been hypnotized. I piled the 2 biggest ribs into his bowl. While he was buried in his food, 2 tiny pale gold dragon horns quietly poked through his hair. I could not resist and gave one a gentle tap. He jerked his head up like a startled hamster.
Don't touch my horns!
Okay. I won't touch the royal horns again, you cranky little prince.
After dinner, we curled up on the couch to watch cartoons. He claimed the far end of the sofa, acting like he had no interest in getting comfortable. But every time I looked at the screen, his hand darted out to steal a piece of fruit from the bowl. Then he snapped right back to his corner, pretending nothing had happened. I bit back a laugh and pretended not to notice. For the first time all day, things almost felt easy. Then Derek sent me a voice message. I tapped play before I could talk myself out of it, and his voice filled the room.
Lily, the way you looked at that subway entrance today, honestly, you need a wake-up call. You used to at least try to look put together. Now you look like you've completely fallen apart. Stop lying to yourself. You were never the kind of woman who belonged anywhere near the top.
The smile faded from my face. I did not even notice the little guy had scooted closer until I saw him staring at my phone. His face was far too serious for a child his age. He stayed quiet for a while before he spoke.
Does he always talk to you like that?
It's grown-up stuff, not your problem. He frowned hard, and his voice went flat and cold.
He's wrong. You're not what he says you are. You could have left me at that school and walked away. You didn't.
My nose started to sting.
That's sweet of you, little cranky. But you don't get it. People like him look at people like me and they already decide what we're worth.
He sat up straight and cut me off.
I get it. I've been around a lot of adults. I can tell when someone actually cares and when they just want something from me. My brother can tell too. Besides, I'm not cranky. I have a name. Ash.
Got it, Ash. Wait, your brother?
He lifted his chin, and the pride in his voice was impossible to hide.
My brother is incredible. He never falls for a pretty face, and he can spot someone scheming from a mile away. He has the best judgment of anyone.
The look on his face, completely serious while he hyped up his brother, made me laugh.
He sounds like a pretty remarkable dragon. Someone like me. I'm sure he wouldn't even give me a second look.
The little guy bristled immediately.
That is not true!
I reached over and ruffled his hair.
Relax. I know your brother has the best taste in the world. But he and I are from completely different worlds.
Different worlds? We'll see about that once he gets here.
His voice was so low it was almost swallowed by the cartoon playing on TV. I did not catch a word of it. But the tip of his tail flicked once, and something stubborn flashed in those golden eyes, like he had just made a quiet decision no one else was supposed to hear. The next evening, Ash had been acting strange all day. He sat on my couch hugging a throw pillow while cartoons played on the TV, but he clearly was not watching a single second of them. Every few minutes, his eyes drifted toward the balcony. At some point, he secretly pulled out that black and gold Calm watch, turned his back to me, and made a call like he was planning a tiny royal escape.
Hey, where are you right now? Yeah, I'm out. And made a call, and like he was planning, I'll send you royal escape. Come pick me up, I'll send you the address. Stop asking questions and just come.
He hung up fast, like he was afraid one more question would blow his cover. I poked my head out of the kitchen.
Who was that?
Ash tucked the watch behind his back and lifted his chin, trying very hard to look casual.
My brother. He's coming to pick me up in half an hour.
Something hollow settled in my chest. I had known from the start that he was not mine to keep. Still, hearing that he was going home stung more than I expected.
That's good. I'll feel better once your brother gets here.
Ash looked at me from the corner of his eye. He opened his mouth like he wanted to say something, then only let out a quiet, grumpy little huff. The truth was, he did not want to go back to that cold dragon estate at all. My couch was not fancy. The rug was old. The kitchen was barely big enough for one person to turn around in. But here, there was hot cocoa, braised ribs, and someone who wrapped a scarf around his frozen hands without asking who he was or what he was worth. He liked it here. More than that, he wanted his brother to see it too. He wanted his brother to see the woman who had been talked into believing she was worthless, and he wanted him to see how wrong that was. Half an hour passed fast. Ash jumped off the couch and rushed to the balcony, yanking the curtain aside. His eyes lit up at once.
He's here.
I looked out before I could stop myself. At the far edge of the evening skyline, a blazing streak of gold tore through the clouds at an impossible speed, shooting straight toward my rundown apartment building. It came closer and closer, like a burning star falling out of the sky, carrying a pressure that made it hard to breathe. Then it crashed into the empty lot below with a thunderous boom. The light faded. A tall man stood in the cold evening air after the rain. His long black coat billowed in the wind, and his gold hair burned like fire in the fading light. He looked up once, and I took half a step back before I even realized it. This was not the presence of some ordinary rich man. This was someone born above everyone else. Someone the world had learned to bow to. I froze at the window, my heart pounding hard in my chest.
That's your brother?
Ash lifted his chin, pride written all over his face.
Yeah.
I panicked completely. I looked down at my baggy old sweater, then at the messy living room around me.
You go down by yourself. Just tell him I'm not here. This place is a mess, and I'm not even wearing makeup. Your brother is obviously not a regular person. I don't want him seeing me like this.
Ash immediately scowled and grabbed my sleeve.
No way!
Ash, come on. He came for you, not for me.
Ash's voice went quiet and serious.
Why do you always act like you're not allowed to be seen?
I froze. He looked up at me, his gold eyes bright and stubborn.
You came for me. You fed me. You never tried to use me. You have nothing to be ashamed of, so stop trying to hide.
I could not find a single word to say. Then the doorbell rang. Ash let go of my sleeve and ran for the door. But right before he opened it, he looked back at me one more time, with a small, satisfied gleam in his eyes. He had said he was only calling his brother to pick him up. But in that moment, I had a strong feeling this little dragon had been scheming from the start. The lock clicked. I stood frozen in the middle of the living room, twisting the hem of my old sweater between my fingers until the fabric nearly stretched out of shape. The door swung open. Framed by the harsh white hallway light, a tall man stepped out of the dark and into my apartment. The force of his presence hit me before he said a word, and without meaning to, I found myself breathing more quietly. He was so much taller than he had looked from the balcony. His brilliant gold hair was damp from the rain, catching the light in soft waves. His features were sharp, flawless, almost too perfect to be real, but it was his eyes that made me go still. Dark gold slit pupils, cold and commanding, carrying the quiet authority of someone who had never once needed to ask for power. His voice was low and magnetic.
Ash.
Then his gaze shifted. Without pausing, it moved past the little dragon and landed directly on me. The second those dark gold eyes locked onto my face, his entire body went still. Not with contempt. Not with the cold, judgmental stare I had been bracing for. It was something far more dangerous. Something closer to shock, like the ground had shifted beneath him and he had not been prepared for it. His pupils widened sharply, and his lashes gave one sudden, involuntary flicker. I stood there with no idea what had just happened, only feeling a strange warmth spread through the air between us. Ash's eyes went wide, like he was watching something huge unfold right in front of him. Because in his dragon sight, the aura around his always cold, always untouchable brother had started to blaze. Pure, radiant gold light rolled off him in silent waves. This was not ordinary dragon breath. This was the ancient bond signal, the one dragon blood gave off from deep inside the body when a dragon came face to face with his destined mate. It was completely involuntary. Impossible to fake. Impossible to hide. Ash looked at his brother, then at me, who clearly had no idea what was going on. Slowly, a smile spread across his face.
Brother, you like her. Your face is red. Even your ears are red.
The man's gaze cut sharply toward Ash, and the golden glow around him vanished at once.
No, I don't. It's just warm in here. Sinking because you're needy.
Ash rolled his eyes.
It was freezing when you walked in.
Sebastian chose to ignore his little brother completely and stepped into the room with a perfectly blank expression. He stood in my tiny living room, all height, power, and impossible composure, wildly out of place and yet somehow making my cheap IKEA dining chair look like a throne. His eyes swept the room once before settling on me.
You're the one who looked after Ash? I'm Sebastian.
Yes, that's me. I'm Lily. Hannah's photo was so blurry that I thought Ash was her nephew. I didn't know he was your brother. It was a misunderstanding. I'm sorry.
I stumbled over the words and, out of habit, tugged at the hem of my top to cover the soft curve of my waist. Sebastian noticed. Something subtle and unreadable flickered in those dark gold eyes. Ash refused to let the awkward silence last. He ran to the dining table, pointed at the plates I had not cleared yet, and launched into his sales pitch with absolutely no shame.
Try this! Lily's braised beef ribs. They're a million times better than anything that fancy chef at the estate makes.
Sebastian's eyes landed on the table. His brow lifted almost imperceptibly as he put on his best high-end mighty act.
You let him eat this? There's no nutritional value in any of it.
I already ate at the estate. I don't have time for this.
He said every word like a cold, superior dragon lord who had never been tempted by a plate of ribs in his life. Then Ash shamelessly pushed a piece toward him. Sebastian looked at the rib, then at me standing there awkwardly, and his body betrayed him completely. He went quiet for a moment. Then he took the fork and took a bite. For one split second, he stopped chewing. The flavor hit him all at once, deep, rich, and far better than he had clearly expected. Under Ash's deeply smug stare, the cold and untouchable dragon lord made no move to slow down. Elegant as ever, he reached for a second piece. 2 minutes later, Sebastian had finished the entire plate of braised ribs without showing a single readable emotion. He had also quietly eaten most of the garlic mashed potatoes on the side. Ash sat across from him with the most smug, told you so expression a child's face could possibly hold.
I thought you said you weren't hungry.
Sebastian folded his napkin with perfect composure, let his gaze drift slightly to one side, and kept his voice carefully even.
I said I had already eaten. That does not mean I cannot eat.
Besides, wasting food is unnecessary.
Right. But you waste the French chef's food at the estate all the time. Funny how you suddenly care about waste when it's Lily's cooking.
Their back and forth made me laugh before I could stop myself. The sound pulled Sebastian's eyes back to me. I suddenly felt self-conscious and held out a napkin.
You've got a little sauce? Right there, at the corner of your mouth?
He took the napkin. His warm fingertips brushed the back of my hand for barely a second, but my heart reacted like something had gone completely wrong with it. Sebastian cleared his throat, looked away, and the tips of his very handsome ears flushed red. Then came the tug-of-war over whether they were actually leaving. Sebastian stood up, his composure firmly back in place.
Ash, we're going back to the estate. You have class tomorrow.
Ash wrapped himself around the back of the couch like a koala and launched into full protest mode.
I'm not going! Tomorrow is Saturday! This place is 100 times better than that freezing estate.
He was shameless about it, making a scene while shooting meaningful looks at Sebastian the entire time. Because through that obvious mate bond reaction, Ash had already figured out that his brother did not actually want to leave either. The Dragon King sat back down, still pretending to be the firm older brother, but the effort behind it was painfully weak. Ash was not about to let him get away with it.
Brother, if you don't want to leave, just say so. Stop putting on a whole show.
Sebastian's expression went through several very interesting stages. After a long silence, he spoke with great, deliberate calm.
It's late. We'll leave in the morning. I'm staying tonight to keep an eye on you and make sure you don't wander off.
Ash flopped back onto the couch and rolled his eyes so hard it had to hurt.
Adults are so dramatic.
The next morning, when I came out of my bedroom, the living room was spotless. Sebastian was already washed up and dressed, his gold hair loosely tied back. He sat at the dining table with perfect posture, coffee in hand, reading through a stack of documents. Morning light slipped through the curtains and caught the clean lines of his face like something out of an old painting. He looked almost too perfect to be real. I had barely set out breakfast when Hannah's name started flashing on my phone again and again. I stepped out onto the balcony and answered quietly. The screaming started immediately.
Lily! Oh my god! I just got the full story from my husband. You picked up the wrong kid!
That little golden-haired boy is not my nephew. He's Ash, the most prized child of the ancient Cross bloodline, and his brother.
Her voice shook so badly that I could barely understand her.
That's Sebastian Cross.
The Dragon King of both realms.
Cold, ruthless, untouchable.
He can crush a person like an ant and not lose a second of sleep.
Please be careful.
Don't say anything strange.
And don't let him think you're trying to get close to the dragon bloodline for your own benefit.
The call ended. My mind went completely blank. The Dragon King. The gorgeous man who had spent last night in my tiny kitchen, eating my ribs and pretending he was above all of it, was a 1,000-year-old sovereign who ruled over both realms. A wave of shock and shame crashed over me before I could stop it. The gap between us was not just money or status. It was the distance between the ground under my feet and the sky above the clouds. I walked back into the living room and, without thinking, put more space between us. Sebastian caught it instantly. He set down his coffee cup, and those dark gold eyes narrowed slightly as they locked on me.
You're afraid of me. Who called you?
Nobody. I think I forgot myself for a second. We really aren't from the same world.
Your Majesty, you should take Ash home. My voice came out smaller than I meant it to. Sebastian's hand tightened around the coffee cup. In that moment, the possessiveness in his eyes became so intense almost felt physical. To clear my head and shake off the shock, I took Ash to meet Hannah at a nice cafe downtown that afternoon. Sebastian had planned to come with us, but an emergency council meeting pulled him away at the last minute. Before he left, those dark gold eyes locked onto mine with an intensity that left no room for argument.
In this city, if I say we're from the same world, then we are. If anything happens, call me. I'll be there.
My head was still spinning. At the cafe, Hannah sat across from me looking pale as she explained Sebastian's reputation across both realms. Ash sat beside me with his arms crossed, having eaten most of my chestnut cake without a single apology. And then, because the universe apparently had a terrible sense of humor, it happened. Derek. My ex walked into the cafe with his perfectly dressed new girlfriend on his arm, like he owned the place. His eyes swept over my faded jacket, then landed on Ash sitting beside me, still eating cake. That familiar sneer pulled at the corner of his mouth. He walked straight up to my table in his polished dress shoes and looked down at me.
Well, Lily. What did I tell you? You really did find a new low. Now you're running around babysitting rich people's little dragon brats?
His girlfriend leaned into him and threw me a dismissive look, loud enough for the nearby tables to hear.
She does look out of place here, doesn't she? Every table in this cafe is reserved. She looks like the type who has to check the menu prices twice before ordering water.
Derek's mockery and his girlfriend's little jabs pulled eyes from every corner of the cafe. The soft laughter drifting over from nearby tables hit me like a slap, right in front of everyone. Seeing the color drain from my face only made Derek more confident. He leaned into it with that sickening air of superiority, tearing into whatever was left of me word by word.
Face it, Lily. You think running around after rich people's kids is going to make you one of them? Men might like your cooking, sure. They might even keep you around for a while. But no man with a name, money, or power would ever claim you in public. You're not built for that life. You never were.
Every word landed exactly where he wanted it to. The dignity I had spent 3 months carefully piecing back together came apart in seconds. The stares, the whispers, and the contempt pressing in from every direction made me go cold all the way to my fingertips. I was so humiliated I could barely breathe. Hannah slammed her hand on the table and shot to her feet.
Derek, shut your damn mouth!
And Ash completely lost it. His small fists clenched until his knuckles went white. Those bright gold pupils narrowed into razor-thin slits, the kind that meant real danger. He stepped in front of me as faint golden scales flickered across his skin, anger rolling off him in waves.
You absolute idiot. Do you have a death wish?
Derek let out a cold laugh and reached out to shove Ash aside.
Some cheap nanny's little half-blood mutt thinks he can talk to me like that?
The moment Derek's hand moved toward Ash, everything changed. Boom! Every floor-to-ceiling window in the cafe exploded outward at once. A wall of light and howling wind tore through the room like something divine had just descended. People screamed. Cups shattered. Chairs scraped hard against the floor. Then, in the ringing silence that followed, Sebastian walked in through the wreckage. Gold light blazed around him. Glass and debris scattered beneath his feet. Every step he took carried a murderous pressure so heavy that the air itself felt wrong. His golden hair whipped wildly in the wind. Those dark gold slit pupils had turned full blood gold, the color of a sovereign in absolute fury. The dragon authority pouring off him, the kind that could force 2 realms to their knees, slammed down over the room. Derek dropped to his knees in the broken glass before he even understood what was happening. Sebastian did not spare him a single glance. He crossed the room in a few strides and reached me. Then, in front of every frozen, barely breathing person in that cafe, his powerful hands, faintly traced with glowing dragon marks, pulled me against him. Completely. Protectively. Like I was the only person in the room who mattered. Only then did he look down at Derek, who was crumpled in the glass. His voice came out low, quiet, and absolute, like a verdict no one had the right to appeal.
You said no man would ever claim her? Try saying that again.